Welcome to this week's legislative report. Speaker Mike Hilgers announced today that the 2021 legislative session will be shorter than the scheduled 90 days in order to give senators time to work on big projects between the end of this session and a special session for redistricting in September. No date for adjournment has been set. After 3 late nights of debate this week, with one adjourning at 10 p.m., Hilgers expects 3 more late nights next week as the body returns to tax and spending bills on select file and takes up a medical cannabis bill on Wednesday. A proposed constitutional amendment to implement a consumption tax failed to advance from the first round of debate on Wednesday. LR 11CA would repeal real and personal property taxes, corporate and individual income taxes, sales taxes, and inheritance and estate taxes. Instead, a state consumption tax would be applied to the purchase of new goods and services except fuel. The legislature could authorize local governments to enact their own consumption taxes. During debate, many senators acknowledged that Nebraska's tax structure needs to be rebalanced to eliminate an over-reliance on property taxes. Some were concerned that unless the legislature takes action soon, property taxpayers will actively pursue a petition to limit taxes. Many asked questions about how the proposal would apply to agriculture, business, and low-income individuals. Although not addressed in LR 11CA, the concept would include a monthly prebate to all residents that would reduce the effective rate of state and local consumption taxes. Earlier in the week, the Attorney General issued an opinion that LR 11CA violates the Nebraska Constitution's limit on having more than one subject in a proposed constitutional amendment presented to voters. This week, the Government, Military, and Veterans Affairs Committee and the Redistricting Committee held a hearing on an amendment to adjust redistricting deadlines. The state expects to receive census data from the Census Bureau on August 16th. A special session would be held in September for the legislature to complete its work. Then counties would redraw precinct boundaries in October. Most political subdivisions would submit their boundary lines to election officials by December 30th. The Government Committee has not reported any action on LB 285 or the amendment. DNA would be collected during bookings from everyone who was arrested for a crime of violence under LB 496 that advanced from the first round of debate today. The DNA sample would not be tested or placed into the state's DNA database until a judicial probable cause hearing. It could be expunged if the charge was later dismissed. Finally, Governor Ricketts signed several bills affecting counties. LB 63 changes the deadline for assessors to process tax exemption applications from February 1 to March 1. LB 338 redirects dollars from the Universal Service Fund to telecommunications carriers that provide broadband and requires political subdivisions that accept federal broadband funds to ensure certain upload and download speeds.